Welcome everyone. In this video we are going to talk about a company called Craftsman Automation. So Craftsman Automation is a manufacturing company with operations in three core areas: automotive powertrain, aluminum die casting, and industrial and engineering solutions, which includes storage solutions and high-end assembly products. Now we are going to explore each of these segments in detail, okay? But just an overview of their business activities. So they are into machining and assembly. Machining basically means cutting or shaping, metals usually in a particular desired shape, so that they can be then used in their end use case. Then designing, foundry is melting a metal and pouring it into a specific die to give it a shape. Heat treatment, fabrication. So this is what the company is involved in, and all their segments like automotive powertrain and die casting and storage solution and assembly products, all of them involve these things. All of them involve design and foundry and machining and fabrication and heat treatment. The end use cases is commercial vehicles, tractors, passenger vehicles, engineering solutions, storage and warehouse, power transmission, industrial, and two-wheelers. This is a more detailed look, and I've taken this diagram directly from their annual report. So design and simulation, manufacturing, product design, fixture design, special purpose machines. What are special purpose machines? We are going to discuss that as well. Aluminum casting, high pressure, low pressure, machining, all these things they do. But before we go into their business, the way they do business and what they do, let's have a look at the financial snapshot. So the market cap is 9,800 crores, almost 10,000 crores. So this is a mid-cap company. Enterprise value is 10,800 crores. So enterprise value is nothing but market cap minus cash plus debt. So right, so that's what enterprise value is. So if someone wants to buy the entire company, this is what they have to pay. Price to sales is 3.21, not too bad. So that means that their market cap is 3 times their sales figure. 3.2 times their sales figure. PE, price to earnings, is 41, which is not too cheap, not too expensive. PEG is basically price to earning divided by earnings growth. That is 0.84. That means that for the last 3 years, the earnings have actually grown at higher than 40%. That is why you could see PEG is actually less than 1. Return on capital employed is 20% and return on assets is 6%. And over here you can see the chart, the 10-year chart almost, for its revenue, sales figures, and also its net profit figures. Moving on, so as I said, one of their main segments has been powertrain, right? So you can see here the main segment is automotive powertrain. That's their main source of earning. So what is a powertrain, right? Powertrain is a system of components that generates power and transfer it to the wheels of the vehicle to propel it forward or backward. It is a crucial part of any motorized vehicle, whether it is traditional internal combustion engine or electric vehicle. So we are going to go over the different components of a powertrain. This is a diagram, an easy to understand diagram of what a powertrain is. So powertrain is the entire structure that is transferring energy from the engine to the wheels so that the car is moving forward, right? So you have engine, you have the gear system, the torque converter, then you have the transmission, then you have the drive shaft, which is this rod, and then you have the final axles over here. This is another diagram from the side for you to understand: engine, torque converter, transmission, drive shaft, differential, and rear wheel. Okay, this is a real life picture of a powertrain. This is a powertrain of a EV. Okay, so the engine and the torque converter and the axles and the shaft and the differential, everything is here. So let's talk about the engine, right? So engine is the main component. The powertrain is centered around an internal combustion engine that burns fuel to produce mechanical energy. The engine's cylinders undergo a series of controlled explosions, converting chemical energy in the fuel into rotational motion. And the engine is basically consisting of two main parts: engine block and cylinder head, right? Or you could say the cylinder block and the cylinder head. and this is a cylinder block over here. So Craftsman manufactures both of these components, and the margins are pretty high in both of these components. In electric vehicles, the powertrain is driven by one or more electric motors that use electrical energy stored in batteries to generate rotational motion. Electric motors are efficient and produce instant torque. So this is an electric motor. Transmission. So transmission is basically the gearbox that you see, right? So it changes the level of torque to speed ratio in the vehicle. So that is what transmission is. So Craftsman also manufactures the transmission part of the powertrain. Then you have the drive shaft, which is sort of the rod which transfers the energy from the front of the vehicle to the back of the vehicle. So drive shaft, and then these are differentials, these are axles. So all these parts Craftsman manufactures for different OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, and different car companies like Tata Motors. So key clients in powertrain segment are Daimler India, Tata Motors, Tata Cummins, Mahindra and Mahindra, Escorts, and Ashok Leyland. So all these major car manufacturers actually outsource a good portion of their powertrain components from Craftsman Automation. Now, what is the investment thesis for powertrain division? The first is medium to heavy commercial vehicle upcycle, virtually immune to raw material prices. I'll explain what that means. And then multiple new order wins from key customers, and multi-pronged modes and high entry barriers. So let's look at the upcycle. You can see that since 2001, the annual domestic sales of commercial vehicles go through cycles, right? So from 2001 to 2007, there was a upcycle of 25% CAGR. Then from 2009 to 2012, there was another cycle. From 14 to 19, there was another cycle. And now we are down, like in 2021, we were down almost 50%, more than 50%, 59%. And now in 2023, so this chart is a bit old. In 2023, we are in the midst of a cyclical revival of the automotive sector, right? This is led by private sector capex, strong economic recovery after COVID lockdown, and recovery of the real estate sector. So again, the commercial vehicle cycle is going up, the sales are going up. It's in a cyclical revival. So it's good for companies like Craftsman, which manufactures key components of the powertrain and other components for such vehicles. Powertrain division margins overview. Cylinder blocks and heads are high margin products vis-a-vis transmission products because of the complexity involved with these products is higher, leading to higher value addition by Craftsman. So this is where a chunk of good revenue comes in. And then it's virtually immune to raw material prices. Why? Because company recognizes job work income. What is job work? Job work is that, Craftsman gets the raw material from the client itself, and they just have to work on that raw material, convert that raw material into an engine head, into a cylinder head or a cylinder block, or to convert it into a shaft, or to convert it into a transmission, a gearbox, or things like that, and then return the material in the form of a new product to the client. So whatever the raw material is, Craftsman is immune to that, right? Because it's not purchasing the raw materials. Raw materials is being provided by the client itself. Although there are a few small fraction of the segment that also includes Craftsman to outsource their own raw material and give the final product, and that is why the combined margin comes down a little bit, but still a big chunk is through job work and not through raw material outsourcing, right? Then aluminum die casting. So after the powertrain division segment of the company, the next big segment is aluminum die casting. So what is this? Aluminum die casting is a process that involves injecting molten aluminum alloy into a steel mold, also known as a die. Once the metal cools and solidifies, the mold is opened and the finished part is ejected. Average aluminum content per internal combustion engine passenger vehicle in India is currently around 60 kgs, whereas it's 210 kgs in other regions such as China, Europe, and North America. What this means is that in an average vehicle, in developed nations, the aluminum content per car is 200 kilos, but in India it's only 60 kilos. This presents a huge opportunity for Craftsman as aluminum content in Indian cars go up progressively. So the sales of car, the number of sales is increasing. That itself is an opportunity, but the aluminum content per car will also go up. So that is also an added opportunity, right? Aluminum content in vehicle is expected to increase due to more stringent emission and fuel economic regulations, which necessitates weight reduction. Rising penetration of electric vehicles, For EV, the travel range and need to recharge depends on the weight of the vehicle. There are several parts in EVs, electronic vehicles, including transmission covers, motor casing, power electronic covers, and battery trays, which are expected to be in light material like aluminum. Again, this is all good news for Craftsman. Then the last division is industrial and engineering. The company has divided this segment into two parts: high sub-end assembly and storage solutions. And this entire segment is basically catering to non-automotive business, because the previous two segments, the powertrain segment and the aluminum die casting segment, you saw is all catering to vehicles, passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, and all different kind of vehicles. But industrial and engineering is the segment of the company which is catering to non-automotive, yani non-vehicle business verticals, which caters to diverse user sectors. So this is also divided into two parts, right? High-end sub-assembly and storage solution. Let's look at high-end sub-assembly. So this basically, in high-end sub-assembly, they manufacture different equipments for industrial use cases. One such is SPM, which is special purpose machines. They include metal cutting devices, drilling devices, and milling machines. Then material handling devices includes chains, wire ropes, grab hoists, crane kits, pallet trucks, right? Then gear and gearboxes, transmission and housing components. All these things come into the industrial and engineering segment of the Craftsman Automation business. Okay. Then after all this, they also do tool room and mold base and plastic molding tools, sheet metal casting. All this also comes under industrial. This is what Craftsman basically manufactures for its clients. Aluminum casting for power transmission lines, as you can see here. You might recognize this from the electric lines outside our homes. So this also is built by Craftsman. Then finally, the last is storage solutions. So storage solution is a more recent sub-segment that Craftsman Automation entered in 2012 and 2013, but this has ramped up significantly. So it was just 14 crore rupees in financial year 2018, but now the revenue has increased from 14 crores to 250 crores. The reason for entry into this segment was huge growth opportunity. So this is a 7,000 crore rupees industry growing at 20% CAGR. And Craftsman in-house engineering and design capabilities, along with process capabilities such as aluminum die casting, machine and fabrication, are excellent to grow this segment. So Craftsman already has all the tools under its belt to excel in this field. Key products include stationary racking for industries, warehouse and automated storage and retrieval systems. So this is the new thing that they have added: automated storage and retrieval systems, which cater to warehousing and industrial sectors. The company also provides complete solution for conventional automated storage and manufactures products like pallets, racking, shelving, vertical storage solutions, and automated storage solutions for several sectors such as FMCG, e-commerce, logistics, auto, pharmaceuticals, and electronics. Key customers in this segment include the likes of Flipkart, First Cry, Delivery, Reliance Retail, and few other FMCG and auto companies. Growth drivers in the storage solution segment include setting up of large warehouse by e-commerce, organized retailing, consumer durables, auto components, and pharmaceuticals, as well as cold storage units. These are some of the pictures of the different storage related products that Craftsman makes. This is a revenue mix across different business verticals, right? So we can see that the biggest chunk, 51% of the revenue, is coming from automotive powertrain. We already discussed that, right? So cylinder heads and cylinder body, and shafts and axles and differentials, the entire powertrain of a vehicle, mainly of commercial vehicles. That is what Craftsman makes, and that makes the bulk of the revenue. 25% on the other hand comes from aluminum products, mainly aluminum die castings, right, where they melt aluminum into different shapes and forms for different products. This also serves the automotive industry. Then we have industrial and engineering, which is their non-automotive or non-vehicle segment. This 24% is further divided into two parts, and on the right side we can see this. So storage solution is 53% and 47% is high-end sub-assembly products, which we already discussed. So this is basically a brief overview of what Craftsman does as a business, right? So they are into automotive powertrain, aluminum die casting, industrial and engineering solutions, including storage and assembly products. So this was a brief overview of the business, right? Obviously, there's a lot that we can talk about here. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below in the comment section. This company is Sharia compliant according to our filters. And if you want us to build a portfolio for you, you can WhatsApp us on this number, and we can get in touch. Thanks.